Hey guys, Scott and Nate from PlayYourCourt.com, and today we're going to show you mistake number 2 of 3 that we say a lot of beginner tennis players making. Alright guys, so today is part 2 of a 3-part video series where we go over some strategy mistakes that we see a lot of you beginners making. This video is for players with a PlayYourCourt rating of 60 and below. If you're not in our community or familiar with our rating system, then Nate's not going to talk to you anymore. I'm just kidding. Nate will talk to you, but guys, seriously, if you're not in our community and you're trying to improve your tennis game, you're goofing up here. It is $5 a month to join this thing. We give you everything you need to improve your tennis game, so definitely at least check this thing out. That said, if you're not in the community or familiar with the rating system, a PlayYourCourt 60 is the equivalent of about a USTA 3.5. So we're really talking about beginners up to about a USTA 3.5. If you're better than that, this video is not for you. Turn it off. Nate.
Guys, don't be offended. He's not saying if you're a 3.5, you're a beginner, right? We're taking from the beginning stages of the game. We're not talking about the first time somebody has ever hit the ball.
It's a mistake all beginners are making, but it's not a mistake that all 3.5 players are making. So I would say as your level improves from beginner up to 3.5, maybe you're a little bit less likely to make some of these mistakes. But in the players we've coached, we've seen these mistakes happen all the way from beginner to 3.5. Right. No harm intended, sorry.
Yeah, so this one here, the mistake number 2. The mistake number 2?
The mistake number 2.
The mistake number 2.
We're also giving grammar classes after this.
Mistake number 2, all right, is the Hail Mary effect. All right, for all you football.
Explain.
Yeah, all you football fans or not fans. Let me explain this. All right, so in this scenario, your team, right, there's a couple minutes left on the clock. They're driving down the field and there's a blitz. All right, so the defense is rushing in and trying to get the quarterback. The quarterback drops back and just chucks it as far as they can, right?
We're both Redskins fans, so we're very familiar with this situation, actually. Also,
well, very familiar, unfortunately. All right, but so as this QB is chucking it, it's a Hail Mary because the chances of it being caught are limited. Right? We've all been there. No, why are you throwing it? Just taking.
I mean, Patriots fans probably aren't dealing with this much, but for all of you Redskins fans.
Yeah. All right. So what are we talking about on the tennis court? The Hail Mary effect. We're getting into these stages and points where we're on defense, all right, and we're running for a ball, and we're just trying to make a miracle happen, all right. And a lot of times we're getting pulled out into the outer thirds of the court. We're not balanced. All right, we don't have a whole lot of time, and we're trying to rip the ball down the line, right? Or we're just trying to hit an absolute screamer to get out of trouble, all right? This is the Hail Mary effect, all right? And this is a tactical error because the chances of you making it are so slim, all right? It's what should be maybe a forced error, all right, just turns into an unforced error because you go for something so ridiculous, all right? So here's the fix. We're going to talk about the reset button. All right, the reset button.
How to play defense when you're in defensive position versus trying to force offense out of defense,
so,
right?
Did you play Nintendo when you were a kid?
Oh, of course.
The original
Did
Nintendo.
they have Nintendo yet when you were a kid, or was that?
Atari 5200, but Nintendo was
probably more like checkers, I guess, was your sweet spot.
Let me see where you're going with this.
The Nintendo, they had electricity, though. So you got that.
Are we going to finish with the
for
instruction?
it. Sorry, carry on.
The Nintendo had a reset button, all right? And so what would happen, you're playing Mario Brothers or whatever, and you just die immediately, right? You'd immediately reach out and hit that reset button. You're like, we're just going to start this whole thing over because I'm not going to start that crummy game like this.
Right.
In tennis, there's a reset button as well. When you're being pulled out to the outer thirds of the court and you're in this distress, you're in defense, instead of the Hail Mary, what we should be focusing on is height, getting this ball up nice and high and resetting the point so that you can get back to middle.
To make this super clear, the Hail Mary version that we don't want you to do is you're pulled way out of position, you're on defense, you go for an offensive ball by trying to rip the ball really hard down the line or by doing something that, you know, upon further analysis, you probably don't have a very high chance of executing. So the reset button, like Nate's talking about, is the easiest shot to hit when you're on defense, the lob, just throwing the ball up, and like you just mentioned, giving yourself time to get back to the middle of the court.
You got it. All right, guys, we're going to show the wrong version. We're going to show the Hail Mary, and then we're going to show the correction just after that. Let's check that out now.
Let's get it. All right, guys, so as you can see there, I've moved Nate around, but I've pulled him out wide where a ball, honestly, pretty easily could have thrown up a high ball to reset the point, but instead he went for broke, trying to hit the backhand down the line. And there's two problems with this strategy. One, and I want to highlight this because you may see it but not recognize what's going on. One is he's really, really far out of position, right? He's been pulled completely to the widest part of the ad court, and he's hitting as hard as he can down the line. So even if he makes that ball, there's a good chance that I get to it and have an entire half of court to hit into, and there's less time for him to recover because he hit the ball so hard. So mistake number one is taking a huge crack at the ball when he's out of position, but mistake number two is just right out of the gates, you really should be throwing that ball up to give yourself more time to recover.
Recovery time, yeah. So now we're going to take a look in the corrected version where I'm going to play that reset button. I'm going to try to get there and get some big heavy spin and try to get back to middle so I don't leave the open court.
It's a good reset.
Yes.
All right, guys, so as you can see there, pretty big difference. Nate, by just playing the reset ball and extending the point twice, I get frustrated, right? I go for broke, I make the mistake. So in the first example, Nate goes for broke way too early, basically not even forcing me to beat him, he beats himself. In the example you just saw, he resets the point, makes me hit more and better shots to actually win the point, and you see there I break down with frustration.
Yeah, it's about ability and willingness, right? So like there, the ability was there, he had me on the run, but the willingness to extend the point wasn't there. And we find that a lot around the 3-0-3-5, right?
Sure.
Like somebody leans on that weapon, they're using it too much. So it's like just play some defense, reset the ball, get yourself back in the middle of the court, and give them a chance to miss. And like even there, I feel like I got back to neutral, maybe even found some offense with the point extended, had you not missed in the bottom of the net, but that's all right. All right, so guys, the takeaway today, right? When you are on defense, when you're on the outer thirds of the court, when you're deep in the court, heck, if you're running up and you're barely getting to a ball, it's not Hail Mary time. You're not going to win the game or
when you're on defense, play defense.
Yeah. So at that point, right, especially we're in on the back of the court, right, on the run, if they're not coming to the net, throw up the reset. Give yourself time to get back to middle. Now, if they're coming to the net, it becomes something else entirely, right? But that's for another level. If they're continuously hitting into the open court and moving in and cutting off with a transition volley, they may not be a 3-5.
I was going to say they shouldn't be watching this video.
But plenty of 3-5s may do that. I mean, we don't know. It's maybe a generalization, but that's going to be a lot more advanced tactics. So if you're doing that, awesome, right? But guys, if you're out there and you're not getting someone that's cutting off the angles with volleys or swing volleys or whatever else in singles, reset the point, all right?
Perfect. And this brings up a great point too, guys. We don't know a ton about your specific skill level. This video instruction wouldn't apply to a high level of play because we are going to see, those players close the net when they put you on defense. So do us a favor. We want to help you. We want to give you the specific things that you need to improve your tennis game. And we want to do it for just $5 a month. Do us a favor. Click the button of the link below. Answer some questions for Nate and I about your specific skill level. We'll get you inside the Play Your Court community where we send you custom video coaching every Tuesday. Nate sits down in his garage and really just thinks long and hard about you and your specific skill level and all the great things that you need to improve.
So weird.
And we send it to you every Tuesday. And then not only that, we connect you with evenly matched players in your area so you can get on the court and practice this stuff. I know for me, growing up, no matter what skill level I got to, it was always hard finding practice partners. We know you've got the same problem. So do us a favor, click the button link below, answer some questions, jump in our community, and let us help your tennis game. We'll see you guys soon.